Our guest speaker for today completed his bachelor's degree of science in commerce at the De La Salle University, Manila. He then got his master's degree of business administration at the Ateneo Graduate School of Business, Regis Executive Program. Currently, he is a consistent Dean's Lister, taking up Doctor of Business Administration at San Beda University. His expertise includes pedagogy in the area as he is a consistent outstanding faculty member under Marketing and Advertising Department of De La Salle University. Aside from that, he played various significant roles as president of John's International for more than 2 decades, California Lifestyles Incorporation for 4 years, and California Surf Incorporation for 8 years. At present, he is the Chief Executive Officer of the Summertine Properties Incorporation. Without further ado, join me in welcoming our guest speaker for today, Mr. Raj Sadhwani.
Thank you, Arlen, for the invitation. Let me just fix this up. Uh, just want to check if I shared it correctly. Hold on, please. Let me. Where's the share screen there? Mm, Give me a few minutes to just fix this up, please. All right. Aldrin, can you hear me well?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can we just have a sound check and let me know if I need to adjust?
Yes, sir. That's okay.
Are we good, Aldrin? Are we
Yes,
good?
sir.
All
Clear.
right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to my webinar together with my dear friend, Mr. Paco Magsaysay. I would like to say hello to a lot of people today, more so from the people who did the invitations for me to be here. Vice President of Chiang Kai-shek College, Dr. Roland Chua, Dean of the School of Education, Dr. Imelda Neri, fellow administrators, faculty members, MBA and MAED students of Chiang Kai-shek, friends, neighbors, colleagues, and those that wanted to buy tickets, but I said that you can just join for free. Thank you very much. You can just join and donate to people in need. So here's a greeting also for the administration.
Hi, this is Richard Yap, and I would like to say hello to the Vice President of Chiang Kai-shek College, Dr. Roland Chua, Dean of the School of Education, Dr. Imelda Neri, the administrators, faculty members, and to all the participants of this webinar. I would like to welcome all of you to this webinar today. Raj and I went to the same school, the Sacred Heart School Ateneo de Cebu, and our friendship continues till this day. In fact, Ashley was one of Raj's students at De La Salle University. I know that we are in tough times right now, but we still have a lot to be thankful for. So enjoy the webinar. You all take care always. Stay safe. God bless.
Thank you, Richard. That's a greeting for everyone from the administration. Richard has been a very, very good friend. He had COVID last year, and was able to. If you would like to watch his history or his story about COVID, you could go to his YouTube channel, and he discusses it in full how he went through COVID. To begin, I would like to start with my normal outline where I introduce to you my endorsers, my luxurious sponsors, my brand DNA, my children, and my short introduction. Let me start with my endorsers.
Hi, Professor Raj. Thank you for supporting for Alaska, and God bless to you. Ingat.
Hey, Professor Raj, I just want to wish you a good luck. Enjoy.
Good luck, Professor Raj, and best of luck to the Ateneo School of Business.
Hi guys, if you're watching this, that means you're going to be under one of the coolest professors, Professor Raj Sadhwani. And I'm sure you'll have a great time. So you guys enjoy and make the most out of it.
We miss you, and hopefully I can visit your class soon.
Hi Raj, Prof Raj. Good luck.
Hi, we just want to wish good luck to one of the best professors in the world, Professor Rajan. Hi!
Chong, I miss you, Chong. You're a professor pala. Professor Rajan, the Great. I love you, Chong.
We love you. Good luck.
Hi, I'm JV Casio. I played for De La Salle University, ID 103.
Hi guys, I'm Jeron Peng and I'm ID 112.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Rada. I played for Lasalle and ID 109.
So good luck, Prof. Raj, and to all the students, study hard. Animal Lasalle.
Animal Lasalle.
1, 2, 3, go.
Good luck, Prof. Raj. Animal.
What's up, Professor Raj? Good luck and God bless.
It was my son's birthday a few months ago, and Enrique sent a greeting for my son.
Hi Martin, happy birthday sa'yo. God bless and enjoy the party. Ingat.
So if any of you have a name is Martin, a friend named Martin, nephew, neighbor, people you don't like named Martin, and if you need a copy of this video, please ask Prof. Angkat. I will send this to you because he never mentioned any name. And if your name is Martin, you can upload it on your Facebook the night before and just say, wow, this guy greeted me and I didn't even ask for one. So just let Prof. Angkat know. A lot of brands are going global. They've reached the maturity stage of the product life cycle. And, you see this picture with me and my son was taken in Hawaii, and it's Jollibee, Pen Shop, Bench, and Goldilocks. And to keep it at par with the global brands, allow me to introduce to you my global endorsers as well. Let's start with Pau Gasol.
Hello, Professor Rajan from Ateneo University. I just wanted to say hello and wish you the best of luck going forward.
And Channing Tatum.
What up, Professor Raja? What's going on? Chan here.
A lot of my students in school, especially the women students, they were shocked that I have this and they asked me to repeat it. So allow me to repeat it.
What up, Professor Raja? What's going on? Chan here.
I've been lucky to be endorsed by a lot of celebrities, both local and global. But there's nothing like this priceless picture that I have of Prof. Angkat, Prof. David, and Prof. Lay. These are my idols, more than the one that were shown to you. They're my classmates at the doctorate program. They've been very wonderful. They're great classmates. They're great teachers. And they're not only doing their job without your knowledge, they're also great singers and even great dancers. And allow me to show this to you. they can sing any song, whether if you want gospel song, Christian song, even OPMs. As mentioned, they're not only singers; they can even dance. In any part, any song you play, they'll be able to dance, including songs from Disney. Allow me to thank you, Prof. David, Prof. Lay, and Prof. Ankyat. You guys are great. Miss you guys. I wish it was back to face, so I could see you guys. Miss having lunch with you, staying in class with you from 9 in the morning till almost 8 in the evening. Allow me to introduce to you my sponsors. This is how I used to look when I was taking up my MBA studies. It took me 28 years to finish my MBA program. I started in the early 80s, but I had to um, be based overseas, so I kept on traveling and kept on dropping a subject until finally decided to start all over again and finish my MBA to fulfill my dream of teaching one day. And it took me 2 years. And after that, I applied for teaching, but it took me another 2 years to get a job at Ateneo that was all filled. But when I got my job, I was jumping for joy, and I needed a change of hairstyle because I didn't want to be perceived as a rock and roll singer or a member of a dance group like Hot Legs. So I would like to say thank you to Mama Ricky for cutting my hair, for taking care of my hairstyle. Mama Ricky, I love you too. There's no one that touches my skin except for Dr. Vicky Bello, and you got to believe in the Bello magic always.
Good luck on your marketing forum, Professor Raj. I'm sure everyone will learn a lot. I wish I was there. Take care. Bye.
Take care too, Vicky. Regards, Snow. Love to wear suits, especially for my MBA program. I was teaching from 6 to 9 or 6 to 10 at the Ateneo Graduate School of Business. For this, I would like to say thank you to 168 Shopping Mall, and at times St. Peter's Chapels provided there's a suit available during the day. Next to eternal life, the most precious gift that our Father in heaven can bestow upon man is his children. This is my daughter Sam.
Hi, Dad. Good luck with your report, your classes, and your doctorate studies.
She graduated from Poveda, went to Ateneo Katipunan, took her international brand management in Europe, went to New York for OJT, stayed there for quite a while. She's back here now, and she's my favorite daughter because she's my only daughter. If you wish to watch her, you just go to CNN.
Good afternoon, I'm Sam Sadhwani. We bring you real-time road check. This is the traffic center on CNN Philippines.
And this is my son, Martin. He's also my favorite son because he's my only son.
Hi, Dad. Good luck with your report, with your classes, and your doctorate studies.
And this is during his prom. and he played for Xavier from grade 5 till uh, the end of his high school. I've been to Chiang Kai-shek so many times and watch him play against the university's team, but sorry, they're just too strong for Xavier. Xavier always placed in while Martin was playing third place. First was always Shanghai, then Hope, and then um, but for the other leagues, my son won the 17 under season most valuable player. He won the best defensive player, Medical Five. He's a member of Xavier School. Um, he was in the Ateneo basketball team, but he decided to leave the team because personal reasons. This is how much he used to score: 28 points, 32 points. Sometimes they win a game by 1 or 2 points, and he's always assigned to take the last shot. Um, he graduated from Xavier. He's now on his third year at the Ateneo Katipunan. So pictures of my children. Most fun I have is always in LA, where my siblings are located, and we always make sure we watch all the games, especially when the late Kobe Bryant was still playing. And we go to a lot to Hawaii, which also I have also a lot of work over there. So my children's, and without any effort on their part, they were able to get my good genes, and that's what you call a brand DNA. Allow me to introduce myself. As mentioned by Richard, we were born in Cebu. We were raised there. We studied in the same school, Sacred Heart School. Was taking up Chinese and English, and it was very difficult for me. On my third and fourth year, I moved to the University of San Carlos because I was recruited to play basketball. I was a varsity player for University of San Carlos for 2 years, and during our league, the best player during our time was his name was the late Arnie Twadles, and he came over and played for Toyota. Allow me to introduce myself. These are my contact details. You may also reach me through my idols, Prof. Angkiat, Prof. David, and Prof. Lay. As mentioned, I studied at Del Salle University. I moved in from Cebu to the States for a year and a half, then came back here and took up my college at LaSalle, my MBA at Ateneo Graduate School, and my DBA at San Beda University, where another idol, my colleague, Dr. Pastrana, is around to watch this. He was the one that paid the most for the ticket also. So I worked with a lot of surfing companies, mostly with Billabong and Town and Country, and also worked with a company involved in the diving business. It's called XL. It's not very big, but it's very big in the U.S. military because we sell to the Navy SEALs. But the U.S. Military's rules is not to indicate the brand on the wetsuits. Building your personal brand, how to be authentic and differentiate yourself. Personal branding is a leadership requirement. It's not a self promotion campaign. One of my favorite actors, and probably yours too, is a guy named Robin Williams. Robin Williams is not only a brand, he's a legend. He was able to differentiate himself from his fellow actors by having this incredible ability to connect with his audience, to connect with the audience emotions. And that's what great brands and products and services must do. They must be able to capture the consumers, to capture the consumers' emotions. That's why lately, and for the past 4 or 5 years, you've seen a lot of emotional branding commercials on TV. The emotional branding concept, from Jollibee to McDonald's to Nido to Smart to Globe. But this started way years ago in Thailand, and there's a book on emotional branding, part one and part two by Mark Gubay. It's very interesting. Emotional branding intends to create a long-lasting connection between customers and the brand. This emotional bond allows you to build up trust and loyalty among your customer base, increasing the reach and value of your brand. So customers are more likely to purchase and stay loyal to your brand that they feel they're more emotionally connected with. Some customers are very connected with the Apple phone, that people stay in line when any new release, and they don't care whether they stay early morning or late evening just to get hold of the latest Apple iPhone. Emotions influence purchase decisions, help build brand quality, loyalty, and helps create brand champions. Top brands like Nike, Netflix, YouTube, and Disney have taken their engagement and emotional connection to one of the most private devices, the smartphones. When customers develop a sense of brand loyalty, they're building an emotional connection to a business. Not only do they feel they belong, but they also get excited to represent the company in some way as a fan and advocate. And there you go, you have the word of mouth marketing. Robin Williams' skill in making people hang for every word. Laughter 1 minute, tear up on the next, is the envy of a lot of presenters. We thank Mr. Williams for all the joy, the laughter, and the inspiration he has brought into our lives with the TV and the movie shows he made and shared with all of us.
Please, don't worry so much. Because in the end, none of us have very long on this earth. Life is fleeting. And if you're ever distressed, cast your eyes to the summer sky, when the stars are strung across the velvety night, and when a shooting star streaks through the blackness, turning night into day. Make a wish. Think of me. And make your life spectacular. I know I did.
Businesses are born, but brands must be built. And a brand is no longer what we tell the consumer it is. It is what consumers tell each other it is. As a preview, one of the most valuable assets the firm has are the brands it's invested and developed over time. It simplifies consumer decision making, reducing risk and set expectations. Sometimes it's at top of the mind for certain consumers. It's not easy to reproduce strongly held beliefs and attitudes established in the minds of consumers. Let's take a brief history of branding. Branding in one form or another has been around for centuries. The branding of farm animals as early as 2700 BC in Egypt, to avoid theft may be considered one of the earliest forms of branding. The original motivation of branding was for craftsmen and others to identify the fruits of their labor, and it's a way to differentiate products from mere commodities so their consumers could easily recognize them. Brands were also burned on wooden cases. Again, once again, it's to identify the source and to describe what the product's all about. The sweatshirt you wear, the bag on your hand, the swoosh logo on your sneakers, the coffee cup or coffee mug on your hand tells everything about you. You're branded, branded, branded. We do not fall in love with products. We fall in love with brands. It's about the emotional attachment and personal experience we have with that brand. Once again, it's all about the brand, not the product. And I would like to talk to you about a brand called You. This is a new platform for personal marketing. You are a brand, whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not, or whether you're conscious of it or not. We are a brand. But there are just too many brands in the market that we have to let our brand stand out. We have to be differentiated. And as mentioned in Robin Williams, he's a different kind of actor because differentiation is one of the most important strategic and tactical activities that companies must constantly engage. And so does the brand called You. Children as young as 2 years old could easily recognize certain logos, certain symbols, certain characters, and even certain brands. Every day we see and hear numerous advertisement from different companies trying to get their message across their target audience. These numerous advertising campaigns have become noise to the average person, but our brain is wired to retain messages that make an impression on us. Either it's positive or negative. And it's very, very important to always make our brand stand out because brands are all fighting to be recognized. They're fighting the clutter factor. Try taking a trip from Santa Rosa to probably Quezon City, as long as you're not driving. Get a piece of paper and a pen and write down the brand number of brands you see on your trip. Believe me, and I guarantee you, you will be able to name 50 brands. Whatever you see on the billboards, on the left, on the right, on the bus, on the taxis, on the uh, pedestrian, on the walkways, on the overpass, everywhere. Just 50 brands from one ride. Everyone's fighting. All brands are fighting the clutter factor. This is a picture image of a supermarket where every brand is fighting for a space in your grocery cart. The market leader is trying to dominate the shelf space by offering a variety but related different um, uh, variety but different variations of their product. While the market challenger will try to get some sales space by offering probably lower prices, discount, free samples, and the market challengers are using advertising to help break the consumer's purchase and consumption cycle by presenting some reason to try something new. Sometimes when you go to S&R and Landers, you'll see a small table over there with a lady or a man trying to ask you to taste their samples, to induce product trial, to create awareness. Those are in the introductory stage of the product life cycle, and they're there for a reason. They're trying you to um, product trial and to try um, to break your consumer's purchase and consumption cycle by presenting an alternative. I remember one time where I used to go to SNR, and it was Delemondo who was in that small table trying to induce product trial. Now they're all over the supermarket shelves. Amazing their strategy and their campaigns. How you relate to brands is the same way how you relate to people. The minute you meet someone, you start forming impressions about them, taking mental notes on how they look like, what they say, what they do. And as time goes by, you start making adjustments by adding or deleting certain attributes. And that's the same how we relate to brands. The minute we buy an iPhone, we start looking at its features, its size, its life, its customer service, more so for service companies, like how reliable is to have it installed with Sky Cable or with Signal. How long does it take when we have a problem? How long does PLDT take, or other service companies? It doesn't really matter how much money they make. We're not concerned about that. What we're concerned is that the process in place works. The minute that we call customer service, we're attended to. Glenn Peace describes personal branding as the total experience of someone having a relationship with who you are and what you represent as an individual. What are your values? What motivates you? What makes you different from the other person? And it is your reputation, it is your trademark, it is what you stand for. And it's based on the real you. It's not based on false advertising, it's based on authenticity. It is an asset that you must protect at all times while continuously molding and shaping it. Once again, false advertising is any advertising or promotion that misrepresents the nature, characteristics, qualities, or geographic origin of goods, services, or commercial activities. 50% of US consumers avoid products and services which overwhelm with advertising, and about 7 out of 10 of consumers don't believe that companies tell the truth in advertising. You've heard of ads that says, you lose 30 pounds in 10 days with this particular pill, or whiten your teeth in 6 days, or darken your hair, or get a six pack for using this particular equipment. There are a lot of false advertising, and it's also very notorious in food establishments, food advertising. This is what you see on the tarpaulin when you go, and they lack transparency. This is what you see. This is what you get. The same with Taco Bell. They're all guilty. You try see a Nintendo. I mean, who would expect five ladies gathering in a home and playing Nintendo? No, they're ready to party. And you also have the art of cropping. You know, this is what you see on the packaging. This is what you get. All false advertising. Also, Photoshop on magazines, very prevalent on cover page. Uh, they they do a lot of tricks to make you look better. In Russia, there's a cottage industry that engages in photoshopping for online dating, and I understand they are doing pretty well. I am a victim also of false advertising. Either people are delusional, or it's just plain false advertising. However, there's also truth in advertising, where great advertising reaches at the human level, both in honesty and emotion. As great advertising is about real communication, emotional connection, and bringing values to lives in small and great ways by showing the possibilities and making dream realities. Let's talk about Starbucks. Starbucks has always been one of my favorite companies. They always listen for a change. They always listen to customers, and they believe it's very crucial to customer relationship and building strong loyalty with the brand. And they also strongly believe that big ideas come from customers who care to share. A lot of consumers who buy Starbucks are on a drive-through or running through the office, and they've been complaining about hot coffee spills. So what Starbucks did was to listen to their consumers and develop what they call the splash stick. And this was the result of the company's ongoing idea exchange with its patrons. We don't have this one in Starbucks here, but we have an innovation, and it's called Scotch tape. They all continue to listen to their consumers, and the consumers said that the tall frappuccino is very difficult for children to enjoy, the drink, and even for them, as they would like to enjoy the drink with less of a commitment in terms of calories. Well, the tall frappuccino is 180 calories, and they came out with this mini frappuccinos that has 120 calories and a little and only 24 grams of sugar. This is what Starbucks is all about. They moved from commodities to experiences. They made common and uncommon. They aspired to be undifferentiated. To move from being undifferentiated to being differentiated. They create core products and not core commodities. Any language, whatever you speak inside Starbucks, you can't speak that anywhere else. Word frappuccino can only be heard inside a Starbucks. You can't order that from any other of their competitors. And they continue to add value added differentiation by staging a great customer experience. Lessons from the Lolly Coffee. They all buy the coffee from the same supply chain, probably from Brazil, Argentina. But when you go to Nescafe, you pay 10 times more. You go to Mac Cafe, you pay 80 times more. But you go to Starbucks and you pay 600 times more. And you're paying 600 times more because of the power of the brand. And the power of the brand includes great ambiance, wonderful service, great coffee drinking experience, and convenient location, and great beans and roasting. I read this, saw this sh- um, image of Mr. King, and he said, only children tell the whole truth, That's what makes them children. When you take your children to a restaurant and the food comes in too late, they always say, Dad, Mom, I'm hungry. The food's very coming too late. And if the food's good, if they say the food's really good, if the food is bad, they say, we don't come to this restaurant again. The food is not good. I couldn't, understand that till when I was in the States one time, and I tried it too with with my nieces and nephews, and I would like to share this with you. This was in the year 2015.
Morning, Malia. Good morning, Daniela. Morning. So, who's cute? Tito Raj or Kuya Martin?
Tito Raj.
Again, who's cute? Tito Raj or Kuya Martin?
Tito Raj.
Good girls. Thank
In 2017, after the years pass by, people change behaviors, people change trends. They have a different impression about you. But, I tried it again, and this time with my two nephews who are twins.
All right, who's cute? Tito Raj or Kuya Martin?
Tito Raj.
Again, who's cute? Tito Raj or Kuya Martin?
Tito Raj.
Making this video cost me a lot of money at Toys R Us. Personal branding is essential for the advancement of your career and development as a leader. It's also about making a full-time commitment to the journey of defining yourself as a leader and how this will shape the manner in which you will serve others. One of the greatest leaders of all times is, of course, the late Martin Luther King. He was the leader of the nonviolent civil rights movement in the 1950s and 1960s. And was a point in time that he was able to gather 200,000 people to listen to his talk. We got to remember at those point in time, there was no social media to advertise about his talk. These people came in of all colors, of all races, because not because they have to, it's because they wanted to listen to the late Martin Luther King. We follow those who lead not because we have to, but because we want to. We follow those who lead us not for them, but for ourselves. I'll just skip this. Only strong and trained leaders can envision the right and appropriate future for organizations. And being visionary is not predicting the future, it's just being alert to opportunities. Leaders are driven by a vision of change. They take the lead to change things. I'd like to talk to you about Don Jaime Zubel de Ayala. About a week ago, I had my first vaccine at the village, and I went through the process. I registered, advised them, and waited for my message, and they were offering Sinovac. People were a little very hesitant to take that. A lot of people were contemplating whether to do so or not. But here is a video which was shared to me by a friend in the village. That's Don Jaime Zubel de Ayala with his wife Bea, staying in line, following, did everything everyone normally should have done, which is to register, wait for your turn, don't jump, don't use your network, don't use anything. He didn't even, with all his network, he could have just even, in my opinion, chartered a flight and go to the States and have a Pfizer or Moderna magazine or vaccine. No, he stayed here. And because of him, the following day, there were more seniors who were convinced to take the Sinovac vaccine, all because of him. And, with all Globe Telecom, BPI, what an amazing leadership quality that he showed. But what is a brand? Your brand is your promise. It's your marketer's vision of what the brand must do and do for consumers. It is your commitment. It is what you stand for. It is your singular driving focus, and it represents everything that pops into your mind when we think about a company or a product. Every interaction is a brand building opportunity. Positive interactions build your brand. Every time you call customer service, you swipe your debit card, credit card, you go online banking, those positive interactions build your brand. And they're built through actions and not just words. And the great brands, they stand for something, but they don't stand for a lot of stuff. They only stand for one thing. Volvo stands for safety. For decades, Swedish car maker Volvo develops cars with safety of consumers in mind. Harley Davidson, it's not about a powerful engine, great ride. It's about freedom. And Coca-Cola, enjoyment. Singapore Airlines, service, professionalism. Microsoft, possibility. And Starbucks, a great drinking experience. So what makes a great brand? First and foremost, great brands start with great products and services. Great brands is remarkable. So what's your story? Please remember that people will always pay for a great story and value. We notice brands that are unique, special, extraordinary, and even at times controversial. Here's an ad of Benetton, which had a lot of controversy, especially for Catholic countries. Benetton's core product is the selling of men's, ladies, children's apparel and accessories. And here they have an ad like this. They even have an ad of for condoms for unwanted pregnancy, very far from their core products. Every time you see an ad of Nike, it just looks just like that. But there's a story to tell. It talks about speed. It talks about teamwork. It talks about joining the movement. Under Armour, who's giving Nike a run for the money, has their own story to tell. It's called "I Will What I Want." Tom's Blake Mycoskie. I'm sure many of you have heard of that. Well, Blake Mycoskie at Tom's Shoes had a very simple idea. What happens is every time someone buys a pair of shoes, the same pair of shoes is given to someone who has never owned a pair of shoes in your behalf. So when someone sees you in those Tom shoes and asks you what are those, you have a story to tell on Tom's behalf and on behalf of the person who got the pair of shoes. Um, Lately, for the past 4 years, he's extended his one-for-one model from shoes to eyeglasses. So for every eyeglasses you buy, the same pair of eyeglasses is given to someone who's never owned a pair of eyeglasses on your behalf. This is the one-for-one model.
To a stranger, to a friend, to give in such a way that has no end. We are love, we are one, we are how we treat each other when the day is done. And tell me what it is that you see, a world that's full of endless possibilities. Like you do. We are peace, we are one, we are how we treat each other.
So you picture image a customer going to in the States like Neiman Marcus or Nordstrom, or here if they have in power plant, and you have a choice between buying Converse or Sanok or or John Sport or Tom's, but you know that Tom's cost $10 more or 10 pesos or 200 pesos more, but then you feel that when for every pair of shoes that you buy, the same pair of shoes is given to someone who's never owned a pair of shoes on your behalf, and that's where the emotional connections comes in. It's a great business model. I'll talk to you about DTAC. It's a company based in Thailand. It's as big as Globe and Smart, but I want you to look at their ads. It's very, very different.
แม่ลูกตื่นมาแล้วร้องใหญ่เลยอะแม่สงสัยหิวนมนมโอ้ยังไงอะแม่เปิดการ์ตูนโอเคการ์ตูนนะลูกการ์ตูนการ์ตูนไหมแม่ลูกไม่ได้ติดการ์ตูนลูกติดแม่โอเคไหมงั้นเอางี้เอาลูกคุยกับแม่หน่อยนะคุยกับแม่จ๊ะเอ๋แม่อยู่นี่ไงลูกเห็นแม่ไหมคะจำกันไม่ได้จ๊ะเอ๋มัมจริงจังเลยปังเป่งปังเป่งปังเป่งปังเป่งปังเป่งปังเป่งนี่โอ้ไม่ร้องนะลู
We have fax machine, emails, and many other gadgets to stay connected. But now we live in a world where people are even less connected than they used to be. We have lost our purpose, our sense of sight. And here's an ad from DTAC that puts the needs of the consumers ahead, way ahead from the products that they're selling. Instead of using your phones more by emails or by WhatsApp or Viber or by SMS or by overseas call, instead of them making more sales and revenues, they said put that aside. Stay connected in a human way, the same way we used to do before. Vice Ganda had a concert in Cebu, and a few days. This was in the billboards in along the main roads of Cebu. But a few days before her concert, the Cebu Council removed it as it sends out a subliminal message. Again, brands are also sometimes noticed because of controversy. We noticed Lady Gaga during her early parts of her singing career. She was very known for very outrageous and out of this world costumes that she wore a dress made of raw meat to the 2010 Music Awards. And, I hope that meat is Kobe beef. Kobe beef is delicious. And, I really find Lady Gaga the same way. But in the Oscars 2015, she pulled out the surprise by wearing a very beautiful white gown, looking very angelic and ladylike. And she pulled out another surprise by not singing one of her very popular pop songs, but instead sang a very, very popular Broadway medley. We noticed this player on the basketball court, not because he scores 40 points or 50 points. That belongs to my friend Michael Jordan. It's because of his hairstyle. Very, very unusual. We noticed Dennis Rodman. While he was a basketball player for Detroit and Chicago, we noticed him because of his athletic ability, his love for the game, his brand personality of having different hairstyles during every game. And even off the court, people notice him because, again, of his brand personality, his clothing, his earrings, from his earrings to his nose ring, to his tongue ring, to his belly ring. And let us not forget, he also has an NBA ring. He is indeed the Lord of the Rings. We notice Steph Curry, every time he makes a shot or a good pass, he pounds his chest and points to the sky. It symbolizes his heart for God. He decided to partner with Under Armour instead of Nike because he wanted to his Bible phrase to be encoded or incorporated in all the items Under Armour to send out a powerful message and not just an empty promise. And this is the Bible verse that he wanted to quote.
Steph Curry fires away. Got it! Are you kidding me? The steal in the three. 88-71, the largest lead. Special player. Curry with Brewer on him behind the back to Jet. Back to Curry. Yeah! He got it in the corner.
Creativity is intelligence having fun. Creativity is seeing what everyone else has seen and thinking what no one else has thought. Brands have to be creative. Companies have to be creative. More so now in this pandemic, they have to change the styles of being creativity, the connection with the consumers. And we'll discuss this a little further.
After the jump ball, Willie Miller got the basketball.
Yes.
Tapos, moment of confusion
Ayan, yan.
ito, ha? So, jump ball ito, mapupunta kay Willie, at sabi ni Willie, teka,
Dito ba kami?
ba't walang bumabantay?
Umalis yung bantay.
Ito ba? Okay, dito ba? O, dito.
Ang nakakatawa. Ayan. Uminto rin yung bantay.
Oh.
Umalis.
Oh, si Ranidel sabi,
Ranidel,
sige,
umalis.
dito
Doon na
kami sa kabila.
Yan ang nakakatawang parte ron.
If you ever watch movies where you have $1 million payments to actors and actress and even to the director, but the movie doesn't do well or the TV series doesn't do well, probably after one season they're out or two seasons they're out. Well, I read somewhere that the magic is always in the script. The script writers don't really get a lot of credit, but the script writing is one of the most important in the success of TV shows and movie shows, and even in other areas of the industry. Let's take Friends for example. There was not very popular actor except for Jennifer Aniston, who was not even very popular then, but they lasted for 10 seasons. Again, the secret's on the script. Notice this horse who kneels to the Pope Francis while he was in Dubai. Again, very extraordinary, something very different. That's why we notice this. We notice people who are different and extraordinary. This 38-year-old janitor who finished his college as a scholar from the La Salle College of St. Benil, working as a janitor at the same time attending his classes. Again, very extraordinary. Or the La Salle graduate who pays tribute to her security guard father and La Bandera mom. People who are very extraordinary. Or Nanay Salvacion at the age of 80, earning her high school diploma, or a 94-year-old earning her college degree, and her son, who's 59 years old, helping her put on the toga, or this tricycle driver who gets his top college degree at 64-year-old. Again, very very extraordinary. Or Lila Jana, the entrepreneur who hired the poor, but she died at the early age of 37. She created digital jobs that pays a living wage to thousands in Africa and India, believing that the intellect of the poor was the biggest untapped resource in the world. What about Romnek Planko? He's the son of a poor farmer, but he passed the strict admission exams at Harvard University just 2 years ago. It's amazing. Or this lady at 92 years old is the McDonald's oldest employee. She's still there cooking French fries. Or this poor boy who has nothing to eat but was given two lollipops and still gave one to the photographer. Wanted to share it. Think about it for a moment. Or this 2.5-year-old sister being protected by her 4-year-old brother in Nepal. Perhaps one of the most divine picture of the century. And I say most divine because here it's something larger than life. It's like it's how we see it, how we typically and superficially see and live in our own secluded and secured lives. And yet we still complain instead of counting the blessings that we have. We notice Jack Ma, who Alibaba, who has more sales than Amazon and eBay combined. This was Jack Ma when he was young, very poor, very malnourished. This is Jack Ma on the right, a retired billionaire, very, very wealthy, very well dressed, but a little malnourished. We notice Bill Gates, the world richest man, and he stays in line just to buy a burger. It's a lesson in humility a lot of people need. Will Smith felt emotional after being inspired by Diego Mentreda showing integrity during the race.
Yo, I love this story. So when Spanish triathlete Diego Mentriga, he noticed that British triathlete James Teagle went the wrong way in the race right before the finish line. So what Diego did is he waited at the finish line so Teagle could cross before him. And he said he was in front of me the whole time. He deserved it. And I know it's Sunday and all that, but I cried. It made me cry. I just like integrity. This integrity on full display. You my dude, Diego. I appreciate you.
Or this tennis player who plays it cool. Or this NBA player who gives the fan not only an autograph but something else. Or Rafa Nadal. Oh, I put Rafa Nadal's. Sorry, one of my extraordinary student was when I was teaching at the MBA H program, and I was told I was going to handle 21 doctors, and when I came in, I saw 21 doctors, 20 doctors with one sister. So I had to ask her, how do I address her? I thought she was a doctor and a sister at the same time. She said, no, she's a hospital administrator. But you know what? Um, surprises me is she takes the bus 5 hours away from where she lives just to get to the Ateneo Graduate School at Power Plant to attend my class at 9 to 12 and then another class at 1 to 4. And she gets back to the bus at 7 o'clock to get back at their home province in time for Sunday to help the priest in the celebration of the Mass. very, very extraordinary. She did it for 2 years, and she did finish the race. I made sure I attended her graduation as well. So how can we create brand fans? Well, bottom line, we have to deliver value. That is all that matters. We need to craft a consistently exceptional customer experience. So what changes? Everything else. We have to start changing our attitude. We have to stop interrupting. We have to start engaging. We have to stop directing. We have to start connecting. Start shouting. Stop shouting and start enticing. Stop high power messages and engaging content. Stop reacting and instead interacting. Stop our ROI but look at the return on investment. Stop big promises. Start intimate gestures. Start explaining. Start revealing, discovering. And you can increase your brand awareness with your marketing solutions. And what are marketing solutions? Marketing solution is go beyond commercial messages. Solve something, involve people, enable people, allow people to participate. Those are marketing solutions. And best example here is what Facebook does. Facebook does all of this. They go beyond their commercial messages. They involve you, they enable you, they solve your problems, they allow people to participate. Or simply put, we should make people's lives better. That sounds big, but here's what it comes down to. We must stop pitching people with messages, as people will always pay for a great story and value. Emotions are essential in branding as they are also part of the story. When you are promoting a brand called you, everything you do and everything you choose not to do communicates the value and character of your brand. Everything from the way you handle phone conversations to the email messages you send to the way you conduct your business in a meeting, they're all part of the larger message you're sending about your brand. And the good news is everyone has a chance to stand out. Everyone has a chance to learn, improve, and build up on their skills. Everyone has a chance to be brand worthy of remark. It is this simple. You're in charge of your brand. There's no single path to success, and there's no one right way to create a brand called you, except this. We need to start today. Just need another just 5 minutes before I turn the floor over to Mr. Paco Magsaysay. Paco, are you here? Are you there already?
Yes, sir.
All
I saw him a while
all right.
Yes,
ago.
I'm here.
All right,
Right.
Paco, just give me 5 minutes. I won't finish this part of my
No rush.
webinar because you'll be taking over.
I'm enjoying your presentation. It's
All right.
fantastic.
Thank you, Paco. As
Yeah.
marketers, we need to know how to adopt, per the changing scenarios and demands. This is a very crucial time for business, especially for startups. They need to make sure they're leveraging the right approaches to ensure that they're left with enough funds to make through the pandemic. Businesses are shutting down, up shops and economies are crashing. It is predicted that economies would take next about 3 years to cover up for this crisis. As of October 2020, a store like Jollibee closed down 339 stores. That's already a big. Make most of the time by understanding about consumer behaviors now. With most of the people working from home, learning online, and spending more time online than usual, this is a great time to take note of the shifting consumer behavior. This clearly provides you with an opportunity to let your audience know you. And looking at the conversions, if your business falls under categories such as food, media, healthcare, or pharma, you are expected to witness higher conversion rates. The consumers with insignificant disposable income are the ones with small businesses. They might choose to spend only on necessities at the moment. Some of the companies are unlikely to fall under the wait and see, pushing marketers to keep an eye on their purchase behaviors and make the necessary changes in their campaigns accordingly. What boomed during the pandemic was Zoom. They showed a lot of empathy by offering first free Zoom download, and after that, you can upgrade it to premium with a little price. So businesses that are dependent on supply chains of Asian and European markets are most likely to encounter slowdowns with the travel restrictions, travel protocols. Your supply chain is definitely disrupted. Brands should focus more on brand building and run ads that highlight your brand. They should shift towards television and online advertisements. And brands must cut down on the frequency of paid campaigns, especially for the products that don't relate to the category of necessity at the moment. Brands should not run campaigns that do not relate to the pandemic. Instead, they should focus more on building relations with your prospects and customers. All right, I won't continue anymore because I would like to give the floor to my
All
dear friend,
right.
Mr. Paco Magsaysay. I stopped sharing. Aldrin, can you coordinate
Right.
with
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All
thank
right.
you.
Thank you very much, Professor Raj Sadhwani, for a star-studded afternoon. And we are not done yet. As mentioned a while ago, today is very special as we are in for a double treat. Aside from the knowledge we gained from Professor Raj on building a strong personal branding, we have another guest who will give his testimony as their brand recently shifted to e-commerce. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone will head to the nearest grocery store as soon as this webinar is over because of our next speaker. Anyone who takes a look at their Facebook page filled with expertly shot images of their mouth-watering, creamy, frozen delights will find that their followers number more than a whopping 300,000 and counting. This ice cream lover is not only inspired, he inspires people. Let us all welcome an advocate for young and aspiring entrepreneurs, the grandson of our former great president of the Philippines, Ramon Magsaysay. Let us all welcome the owner of Carmen's Best Ice Cream, Mr. Francisco Paco Magsaysay.
Hi, Aldrin. Thank you
Hi,
so
sir.
much. Thank you so much for the introduction. I was wondering if maybe Professor Raj can throw me some questions that I can answer that would be probably more relevant to what the topic is about. Is Professor Raj still in?
Yeah, I'm
And,
here, Paco.
hi, Raj. Do you want to have a Q&A just between you and me and then a little bit?
I would actually like to know more about how your brand journey is, how it was before the pandemic, when the pandemic happened, and going to the new normal, and what are your plans for the future? Assuming that this will last, which we're not assuming, maybe it's going to last 2 to 3 years.
Yes.
Anybody else would like to add? So Paco will get his cue where to.
I'll answer muna this piece
All right.
before I forget your question.
All right. All right.
But
all
we're
right.
open to taking questions from everyone listening. Well, we started our business we incorporated our company in 2009, and the company we incorporated is called Carmen's Best Dairy Products. We did not know we were going to make ice cream. I had access to our family dairy farm in Bai, Laguna, where UP Los Baños is located. We're about 10 minutes away from the university. And, the idea was primarily to sell fresh milk. But then the negative side of selling fresh milk is the very short shelf life. Shelf life of fresh milk is 7 to 10 days. So we were throwing away a lot of our stock because we were not able to sell it fast enough. So what happened was I was asked to help sell the milk quicker, and I tried doing it, and I was able to get a couple of accounts naman. The first account I got was a Manpulo Resort in Palawan. And I remember when I was able to close that account, I was thinking to myself, if a Manpulo approves of our quality, I'm sure I can make something with the milk that would be also extraordinary. And I think there's a lot of divine intervention because I am not a culinary student. I don't have culinary background. I just do baking of cookies and brownies for my kids, when during that time. So my very little background in baking or culinary got me to ice cream making, if you can believe it. No? And so we started with the ice cream business. I still had a full-time job because I was in my early 40s at the time. This was about 2009, 2010. And so I was in my early 40s. I had a full-time job. So I was not in any rush or any pressure to come out with a full business plan and launch a brand or a product like ice cream. But in 2011, we decided that, actually I decided, I was the one baking it. I decided, the ice cream we make using fresh milk is very different because the ice cream that we're so accustomed to is made from powdered milk. It's very hard to access fresh milk. Even in the US, it's hard to access fresh milk. So we decided to do ice cream, and we launched in 2011, February of 2011. That's why this is our 10th year in operation. But it was only in 2013, 2 years after, that I decided to take it on full time, the ice cream manufacturing business. And since the first 2 years of operation, I still had a full-time job. I couldn't really spend so much time doing it. I still had my day job. And then at night, I would make or produce the ice cream with the cusinera in my house. So I couldn't even afford to hire somebody full-time yet because wala pa masyadong business. No? So I was doing a lot of the work. I was doing production, I was doing delivery, I was doing sales and marketing, follow-ups, customer retention, customer care. I was doing everything because we were a new company and we didn't have that much revenue or that much business. So I was doing it all by myself. So like I said, 2013, I took it full time. And most of our accounts were restaurants, groceries, and coffee shops. So we were more of a B2B business. We did not put up a lot of shops. We didn't have ice cream shops. The first ice cream shop we put up was in, I think, 2016. So that was a good 5 years after starting our business. And the reason I mentioned this is because, as we were catering to the groceries and the restaurants, I purposely did not want to sell direct to the end user or direct to the consumer. Kasi we were selling to groceries and restaurants and coffee shops. I didn't want to antagonize my accounts. I didn't want my accounts to say, hey Paco, we're buying from you, we're patronizing from you, and then why are you selling direct to the end users? So I really made it a point not to sell to the end user, and I did not even go near that. I didn't even think of putting up an e-commerce site. The last 10 years, it was only when the lockdown hit that was really difficult for our accounts, our B2B accounts, and that's where most of our business was, past tense, because you all know how difficult the hospitality industry is, the difficulty they're going through now, from airlines to restaurants to all that. So now we really had to look at selling through community resellers, because there was a time during the lockdown that we couldn't even leave the village, or we couldn't even leave our areas of where we stay, where we live. So that helped out a little bit. It wasn't, I was hoping it was going to help out a little bit more, but being realistic, the economy is so down now, and there's so many people out of work. And ice cream is not really the first thing people think of, So sales is really low now, and our goal is to survive. Our goal is to survive this pandemic. I think there are some industries that are thriving. The delivery business is thriving, the healthcare business is thriving, but in terms of most other businesses, it's really quite challenging. So I think if we're able to survive this pandemic, it would be already a great victory. So I think moving forward, as Professor Raj asked earlier, we were right in not putting up many shops around Metro Manila. Yes? We were right in not putting up a lot of shops, because I remember when we opened power plant, I think 2017 or 2018, the idea of opening shops around Metro Manila, we were playing with the idea of opening 6 or 8 ice cream shops around Metro Manila, and I can't imagine if we had done that. If we had like 6 or 8 ice cream shops, and we would have a minimum of 5 employees per area. At 8 shops, that would have been an additional 40 staff, and the equipment needed to have a scooping station is not cheap. So in hindsight, I'm glad that we did not go into putting up shops, and I think the fact that saved us, from possible collapse. Moving forward, I don't intend to put up shops. I plan to have a more of a delivery style business. We're launching a value line called Arctic Ice Cream, and that business model is not to compete with the Selectas, the Magnolias, and the Arce ice creams of the local market. We plan to sell that online, so it's a value line that we launched the last few months, and that's primarily to get more business from our Horeca accounts, or hospitals, hospitals, resorts, and catering accounts. So I noticed that people would buy, our accounts would buy Carmen's Best as a dessert, but when they would serve an apple pie or a pecan pie a la mode, the scoop of vanilla didn't come from us anymore. It came from a lower cost ice cream, no? Or when they would do affogatos with with a shot of espresso or milkshakes, they would not use Carmen's Best because the food costs would be too high. So I said, I want to get that business. I want to get that business where they buy a different brand of ice cream to put a scoop of ube on top of their halo-halo. So that was the business that I wanted to get from our present clients, or our clients before. And that made us develop the Arctic ice cream line, which is primarily for food service. So what we're doing is more of a vertical type of growth in terms of offering other product lines, because we have the same logistics. It's frozen. We're selling to the same clients, which is the clients that we were dealing with before, which sadly they're having a very difficult time now. It's pretty much the same market that we're going around in, and hopefully the businesses that turned us down before because they found Carmen's Best too expensive will be more open to carrying this second line, which is called Arctic. So that was the reason behind opening or starting a new product line that was not not as expensive as Carmen's Best. So hopefully we'll survive this pandemic. As I said, it's quite challenging, and hopefully it will not last more than 2 to 3 years, because 2 to 3 years of this is going to be quite difficult, yeah, hopefully things get better sooner than later. Did I get to answer your question, Raj?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. There are some questions in the chat box. So please, to those who have questions, just put your questions in the chat box and I'll read it so that Sir Paco could actually answer those questions. And the best question will receive a Carmen's Best ice cream. Just kidding, sir. Just
Okay lang.
kidding. All right.
Okay lang. We can
All
do
right.
that if you want.
Via Zoom. So the distribution will be via Zoom also. All right. You mentioned a while ago, sir, that a part of the struggle was looking at your ice cream has a higher cost than the others. No, we have a question here in the chat box. How do you market something that is way expensive from the conventional brands, especially in this time of pandemic, where many are tightening their belts because of financial crisis?
Okay, well, that's a very good question. And I think we're fortunate that we started our business in 2011. And during that time, people were calling me crazy. I was nuts to launch an ice cream that was, not so far from the selling price of Häagen-Dazs at that time, and which was way more expensive than the local ice cream. And starting the business, understanding what I was doing, I said, you know what, I'm not selling to everybody. Okay, number one, I am not selling to everybody. I know I will have a very small volume. This is my price, but this is my quality. Now, the quality I come up with is going to be the best quality I can make. Okay, because we have a shop in Singapore. And if our quality is equal to or less than the competition, I wouldn't even bother opening in Singapore. There's no way, right? What is my competitive edge? It's not money, because the other companies have so much more money. It's not reputation, because they're much more known than Carmen's Best, right? It's not the staff. I mean, they have so much more people working for them than we do. But we are better in quality. Now, why do I say that? Because when you look at how ice cream is made, and I studied ice cream, we make it each category, we make it the best way we can. Whether it's not pumping air in it, giving you higher butter fat or higher fat, using fresh ingredients, using real dairy, not melurine. Melurine is actually vegetable fat. And the type of ice cream that's made in the Philippines, 99% is made with melurine. That's not actually ice cream. Melurine in other countries, if you use it for your ice cream, you can only call your ice cream frozen dessert. Okay. So if you're to research what is ice cream that uses melurine, it's not called ice cream, it's called frozen dessert. But because of our labeling laws here, very lax, right? I mean, you see Tetra Pak of UHT milk sold as fresh milk, and that is not fresh milk. Okay, a lot of the Tetra Pak milk is made from powdered milk. That is not fresh milk. Fresh milk comes out of a cow. You process it, you homogenize, pasteurize it, and that is fresh milk, right? But here we're allowed to sell it as fresh milk, but when in fact it's not. So sorry, going back to the question, um, we're not looking to be the biggest ice cream company, but we're looking to be the best ice cream company. And if the market for me is 3%, then let it be 3%. If it's 5%, let it be 5%. But we want to be the best ice cream here in Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, wherever it may be. So, that's our business model.
Thank you very much, Sir Paco. Any other questions? All right, we have another one. What is the chance of rising up again a milk tea business this time of pandemic, since people are advised to drink hot drinks and avoid cold drinks?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch it about the milk tea.
Right. So they're asking if the chance of rising up again, maybe a feasibility of putting up a milk tea business again this time of pandemic, since people are advised to drink hot drinks and avoid cold drinks.
Okay, well, for them, they want to open up a
Right. Yes,
business.
sir. Maybe.
Well, I guess as long as your business model um, adapts to how things are being done now. Because if your business model is putting up shops, then maybe that's not such a good idea, because a lot of the population are not, they're not going to the malls. I mean, there's nobody in the malls, no. So if your business model caters to the current situation, then maybe that's something that you could look at. I mean, I noticed that people nowadays are more open to trying different food and different products that they see on these Viber groups and these Facebook groups. So, I think they're more understanding of startups now. So many people selling food.
Right. Thank you,
Yeah.
Sir Paco. We have another question for Sir Raj. Sir Raj, what are your marketing insights on influencers? Are they here to stay? Influencer doesn't mean artista. And also, I am curious on how the K-pop or K-drama industry has taken over the world to the point where LV's new endorsers is BTS, a Korean dance group. All right, sir, you are muted.
Right. All right. Just want to let you know I've been practicing the dance Dynamite. It was pretty good. Well, a lot of people rely on vlogs, influencers, even during the time of pandemic, even during what you watch on TV, Netflix, or YouTube. There's influencers are still there. Um, Relying on them. Oh yeah, people listen to them, especially those that have credibility. My friend Richard Yap has very good credibility, and whatever he endorses, people do listen to him. What's the other question, Aldrin? Aside from the
The
BTS,
other question, yeah. What are your marketing insights on influencers, sir? Are they
uh,
here to stay for like a long time? Because right now we can see a lot of influencers are being the sponsors, the models of the brands, right?
they're the face of the brand, and it depends. It's very, very important for companies to choose the right face of their brand, especially at this point in time. The face of their brands before may not be applicable right now. Um, again, it depends on the influencer's credibility, the face of the brand, the artist that they choose, or the person in charge for speaking on their behalf. The brand ambassadors, their spokespeople are very, very important at this stage. Paco, would you like to add something
Well, um, this is regarding the which industry.
for blogs or for
For vlogs and influencers.
I think well, that's how we grew. I mean, we use social media a lot in our early years, and I think up to now we still use a lot of social media because it's very targeted. So, and I think how young people are now so used to go to social media to get information or to get leads for different restaurants, maybe a year ago, restaurants to go to, or places who deliver good Thai food or good Indian food or whatnot. So there's always going to be, I think, moving forward, there's always going to be a role for influencers and people who have a lot of
Alright.
followers. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
right,
Another question.
Aldrin, I would
Yeah,
like to add
yes.
to that consumers now discuss brands. They do discuss brands and products on social media. So online buzz is a source of business intelligence as well. Online buzz about business-related topics provides also insights that can help business improve strategy and brand reputation management. Today's consumers, they need more personal service and personal approach in every aspect. They can appreciate when a brand goes the extra mile in terms of customer service and many more.
All right. Thank you. Sir Paco, another question for you. Do you distribute to small businesses?
Oh, I replied to her already.
All right, right. All
Yeah,
right. So
yeah. Actually, we do.
another
We support people who try to start up and have a side income or side hustle. So, yeah.
mhm. Okay. Next, in the time of pandemic such as where we are right now, I think it would not be a smart move to sell makeup, right?
Well, I don't think it's. You might have a very small market for it. I mean, people are not really looking for how do you say upmarket products. Whether I mean even clothes. I mean, how many of us are wearing shorts
Mm,
right now, right? So I
right.
mean, whether it's luxury cars or luxury watches or what, I think it's really down, and makeup is, I would sort of classify it as in that segment, and I don't see too many women wearing makeup now, so yeah, it
Uh,
might, yeah.
I've also stopped buying makeup, Paco. I saved up enough. So it's
But
been
you look great though.
thank you. It's been 2 years. Again, thank you to Vicky Bello for taking care of my skin.
Yeah.
Only Bello touches
This
your
is my
skin,
skin,
Sir
yeah.
Raj.
And I
Yeah.
always believe in the Bello magic.
Right. Okay, so another question. We just have to get last three before we end the session. I'm wondering though, will there come a time where influencers won't have influence anymore?
Well, I think maybe there are a few influencers who lose their credibility, and when that happens, then people sort of stop believing them or following them. But there's always going to be a new batch of influencers coming out of nowhere, So it's like a cycle or a revolving door where some go out, some want to lay low, some want to lessen their exposure, and then there are new guys or new people coming in and being more active in social media. So it's like a revolving door.
Right.
Then more brands have also started to appreciate the power of cooperation with influencers and more often engage opinion leaders in their campaigns and general marketing communication. There's a question. What's your take on brands piggybacking on? Can you
Right,
continue
right.
that, Aldrin?
Yeah, okay, I'll read it for you. What's your take on your brands piggybacking on controversial memes, topics, and even political issues? Do you think it does more good than harm? Would you recommend it?
Well, I would not. I mean, I'm the type where the less controversy, the better. So I'm more traditional. I'm not very risque about doing very edgy campaigns or very hot topic or debate type topic campaigns. So I'm more a little bit more mainstream in terms of um, hooking our name with an influencer or a campaign.
Aldrin, before you close, I would like to share about 3-4 slides also about Carmen's Best as well.
Sure.
All right, just let me know when to share screen again. You may continue with your questions and answers.
All right. I think we have covered most of the questions already.
All right.
Yeah, so I think you can share, sir.
All right, sure. I missed out on Rafa Nadal. This is one of my favorite videos. Again, very extraordinary, very special, absolutely loved, takes good care of his brand, and I'd like to share this with you. Am I sharing screen,
Not
Aldrin?
yet, not
Not
yet,
yet.
sir.
Hold on. Where do I go here? No. How
So
do I
while
go?
you're preparing, I just saw a message from Dr. Neri telling me that Chris Aquino is also an alumna of Ateneo. How come you did not include her in your slides with so many different endorsements?
That's right. I still haven't gotten in touch with her, but maybe one day. I don't. Where's my share screen here? Am I sharing screen now?
Yeah.
All right. One of my favorite sports athlete is Rafa Nadal.
They take a battering.
Yeah, this court is a little rougher than last year. Last year was a lot smoother, the actual surface. Wow. Oh boy.
See the young ball kid has been hit there. And Rafa showing immediate concern. She's good, I think. Oh, that's a wonderful moment, though. Good girl. Gee whiz. I think that got her on the cheek. She's quite flushed. What a brave young lady.
If Rafa kissed me, I'd be a bit flushed.
Thank you.
Hey, this is no time for humor.
To end it is we're not sure what our future holds, but we're sure of God who holds our future. And we're all in this together. This pandemic won't last forever. And on behalf of my good friend, Mr. Paco Magsaysay, would like to say thank you to all of you for participating